I used to be obsessed with getting enough protein that I couldn't enjoy the food in front of me. Whether it was going out with friends or family, going to a nice restaurant on a trip, I'd always be thinking in the back of my head, where's the protein? Where's the meat? Am I gonna lose my gains? What this did was make me appreciate food less, be less present in the moment. And I regret that because frankly, there's more to life in food than getting enough protein. Having said that, there's no denying that protein is absolutely essential for muscle growth as well as recovery. So today we'll go into the smartest and healthiest way to use protein to build muscle. Let's talk about protein. What does the science say is the optimal amount of protein for muscle growth and recovery? Roughly speaking, 1 gram per pound of body weight. I'm 156 pounds. 1 gram per pound means I need 156 grams of protein to optimize for muscle growth and recovery. If you are someone that calculates things in kilograms, you can multiply by 2 and maybe add a little bit, and that's what the scientific literature says is optimal. You must understand, when they say optimal, it means optimal for muscle growth and recovery. It doesn't mean that it's just outright the best thing to do to sustain a healthy lifestyle, feel not stressed about what you're going to eat, to enjoy your meals and have a healthy relationship with food. Once you start taking in more variables, more factors that affect your decision-making process, then it suddenly doesn't become optimal. It suddenly becomes maybe expensive. It suddenly becomes stressful. It suddenly becomes all too much. What I actually recommend for most people, all right, so let's face it, not all of us are bodybuilding professionals getting ready for competition. Not all of us want to be huge, jacked, massive gym bro chads. A lot of us want a lean and aesthetic body, look fit, healthy, all right, that's me. And if you watch this channel, more than once, you're probably something similar. You want a balanced, healthy, sustainable life outside the gym. So what do you need? How much protein do you need? How much you actually need is going to depend on your training age, how much muscle mass you carry, what your body fat percentage is, and your general size, weight, and activity level. All of this is going to affect your protein. So instead of complicating it, I just want to give a very simple metric, and if you follow this, I think it will be very good for you. So if you're someone whose training age is 0 to 2 years, beginner, you're going to start to build muscle fast. Because you don't have a lot of muscle right now, you don't need that much protein to keep you from losing muscle. So for you guys, I recommend just aim for more than 100 grams of protein. It's easy to calculate, it's easy to remember, and even just that, even 100 grams is not that easy. If your training age is anywhere between 3 to 5 years, 3 to 6 years, I should really say, you're in the intermediate, you know what you're doing, you've put on some muscle, I would say you want to aim for 120, 140 grams. And if your training age is more than 6 years, you're an advanced lifter, you got low body fat and a lot of muscle, and you want to make those extra gains, then I would say more than 150 to 160 grams. Now I know right about now most people are saying that's nowhere near enough. Look, the people that are saying that right now, you guys care so much about building muscle, you're willing to sacrifice a lot of other things to achieve that level, and that's what we'll get onto in the next point. But I just wanted to say 100, 120, and 150. Beginner, intermediate, advanced. Simple to remember, easy to calculate, taking the mental stress and fatigue out of the whole calculating process. Next, the opportunity cost of trying to get so much protein. I've experienced this myself where I feel like a meal is not enough because there's not enough protein. And I'd be sitting with a Napolitan pasta con pomodorini, like an amazing Napolitan tomato pasta or margherita pizza, and just sat there wondering, where's the chicken breast? Where are the steak slices? Where's the meat feast? Maybe you have a vegetarian burger because your friend is vegetarian, but you're thinking, where is my protein? Am I gonna lose the gains that I made in the gym? What does that do? That makes you just not a fun friend to be around. It makes you enjoy the food less because you're thinking it's not enough instead of being grateful for the food and enjoying it. It also makes you less present in the moment because you're thinking about all these other things rather than being present with the person that you're eating, or even with yourself, or even with the food. So where does this come from? This all comes from the modern society at large, but modern fitness industry that focuses on more equals better. The more protein, the better. The more muscle, the better. The more reps, the better. The more exercises, the more training data. And it's this constant push to maximize everything. The maximization in one field comes at the cost of other things. And I know countless people that feel so stressed about hitting their protein levels. They talk like, oh, you know what I do? I wake up up and just like chug protein shakes plus like loads of chicken breast in the first meal, like fill up all my protein needs, and then I backfill the rest of my calories with other food that I like. And you hear these people talk, you're like, your relationship with food is kind of messed up, bro. Like, you're talking about this backfill and rushing down protein. And look, I get it, it's your life, it's your diet. If fitness is one of the most important things in your life, then yeah, you can live like that. You know, I'm not trying to judge you, even though I kind of did just now. I just feel like there's a whole world of food out there to enjoy that are so good, so amazing. Couscous, like real Moroccan couscous, tagine, French onion soup, Korean hot pots, all of these that might not have 45 grams of protein, but nevertheless add to an enriching life, to an enjoyable experience. Okay, you want to give up on all of that and start to sacrifice all of that because you want to be more like Chad and have a bit more muscle. Okay, whatever diet plan that you make for yourself, it needs to be sustainable. You need to be able to look at it and be like, I can live like this for the rest of my life, because that's the only way you're going to maintain that new body that you make, if you enjoy eating the way that you do on the way to getting there. This is the biggest problem with diets, that just you do as a temporary thing, because once you stop that temporary thing, you just bounce right back. And it's the same thing with protein. Is it a good idea to have a high protein diet? Absolutely. Why? Because protein is healthy. Protein keeps you satiated longer. Carbs is essentially glucose and sugar that can lead to episodes of binge eating, that can lead to, diabetes. Whereas protein, generally speaking, is very good for you in terms of recovery and muscle building and all of these kinds of things. So a high protein diet is good as long as you can get healthy protein, and healthy amino acids are very good for you. So yes, you want a high protein diet, but remember that obsessing over this optimization number is going to come at the cost, i.e. the term opportunity cost. And if it starts to chip away at a healthy relationship with food and the sustainability of your diet over the long run, then I don't think that's a trade-off that is worth making. That's the point I wanted to make. Kind of long-winded. Let's get to the next point. How long should you wait after working out to take your protein? Let's just get this over with really quickly. A lot of people, I used to do this. I used to be working out, and then as soon as I finish, even during the workout, I'd be having protein shakes because, protein synthesis, I'm building muscle in the gym, and then I rush home, have another protein shake, because I'm always thinking, how can I maximize gains? But it wasn't a healthy way to go about it. And in fact, science shows that your protein synthesis is heightened for 24, 48, sometimes they even say 72 hours after training. So don't worry, your body is very, very smart. Okay, think about how we evolved as cavemen. If the caveman went to exercise and didn't get like a barbecue, which he probably didn't because he needed to hunt and then bring the food back and then eat, if his protein synthesis wasn't optimized to just wait for that meat, as weird and simple as that sounds, then we wouldn't, our bodies wouldn't have evolved that way. Just trust that your body is really smart. It will source fat when it needs for energy, and it will wait for the protein that it needs to build muscle. That leads on very well to the next point, which is the use of protein shakes. Now, I personally haven't had protein shakes recently because I get healthy protein from chicken breast, lean beef steaks, and different kinds of fish. Problem with this is when you actually want to hit 120 grams plus, it can get quite a lot because you cannot have chicken breast all the time. It is actually a good idea, I think, to invest in, protein shakes that are healthy, that you enjoy the taste of, and that's going to allow you to hit your protein levels without packing on a huge amount of extra calories. Imagine you don't hit your protein levels and you're like, I need another 20 grams of protein, so let me have like 2 Big Mac meals. As stupid as that sounds, a lot of people actually do this. They're like, oh, I need more protein, so I'm gonna have this meat because I need more protein anyway. And what happens is, A, it's sometimes like processed food that's gonna trigger more binge eating. B, it's just unhealthy for you. It clogs up your arteries and your blood system. But most importantly, C, it comes with a whole lot of extra calories that's gonna put this layer of fat on you, and you're constantly there with this polar bear suit fat. So protein shakes, yes, I think are very good investments. It's probably the one supplement that actually does work very well for muscle building, other than maybe creatine, but I don't even use creatine as well. So next point, so how do you get affordable sources of protein? When I was a student, I think the main thing that I used to get was frozen chicken breast. The frozen stuff, once you leave it out early to like defrost and then you cook it, it tastes almost the same. Chicken breast, it's always almost the same anyway. I think tinned tuna, sardines, these are very good. Obviously there's plant proteins like lentils, nuts, and tofu and things like that, but generally speaking, yeah, frozen chicken, tinned fish, minced beef, lean beef steaks at your butchers, these are all very, very good and semi-affordable sources of protein. Okay, final point, which is the general thread that has tied this entire video together, which is to find a sustainable and enjoyable way of of getting protein for you. All of these diets and influencers that suggest you like eat this and this is the meal, it's like no, because you don't know your dietary requirements, your preferences, your prices in your local neighborhood supermarket. There's all of these variables, your family's preferences, your friends' preferences, your lifestyle. All of that's gonna have to come into your decision-making process, and you're gonna have to choose with the knowledge that I've given you. Okay, where can I get the protein in terms of, okay, I want some chicken breast, let me get that frozen, let me order that online. Okay, let me get some tinned tuna, let me get some sardines and olive oil, let me get this, that, and the other. And then you start seeing what other things you can mix it with to make an enjoyable diet. Vary it up, but most importantly, make it sustainable over the long run. This is the most important thing. How do you make it sustainable? It's not just price, it's not just time, it's how much effort you spend thinking about the diet side of the equation. This actually impacts sustainability a lot, because decision fatigue is a real thing. If you constantly have to calculate, oh, how do I get more protein? This time it's this time it's that. It's just gonna make it hard for you to do that over the long run. And then guess what? It'll be sporadic. You'll just have episodes where you get no protein and then massive amounts of protein. You want to build a sustainable consistency, and you do that by figuring out what works for you within the confines of some of the smart sort of boundaries that I've set for you in this video. Alright guys, I hope this helped you. The bottom line is this: don't stress too much about protein, okay? Because nobody wants to be around the guy that you go out with a friend and you're like, let me get protein, oh, we must have protein, let's get chicken. Dude, chill out, Chad, okay? Go home and have your steak, come back, let's hang out another time. Okay, hope that helps. See you in the next video. There's a story about how this pasta came to be, which I'll tell you, and it really connects to my fitness philosophy as well. So I had a friend, an Italian friend called Dodi, and we were coming back from the Danube in Vienna, and after a day of swimming you're like starving, right? So we're going back and we're thinking about what to have for dinner, and Dodi has literally just this much, like a packet of cherry tomatoes and a packet of Rumo pasta, and he's like, this is all we need, this is like, we're gonna make pasta like this for 4 people. And I was like, what are you on about? Like, let's get some mushrooms, let's get some broccoli and courgette and all this. And he was like, no, you know, please let me just, this is good. And I was kind of upset because I wanted to eat a lot. And then he made basically this pasta that I'm about to show you with just cherry tomatoes, basil, good olive oil, good pasta. And to this day, it's one of the best pastas I've ever had, because it was just so simple, yet so faithful to the key ingredients, right? The San Marzano tomatoes, that's what Italian cooking's all about. It's about really like letting the ingredients do the work, getting fresh, good ingredients, and combining like a small number of ingredients, but fundamental, ingredients. But it was so damn good. And it's just like minimalist training. It's just like go into the gym. Instead of just thinking more is better and adding more and more exercises, more and more sets, more and more reps, more and more days of training, it's like strip it down, get to the core ingredients, just use key compound movements, and find the perfect harmony between your workouts, your diet, and your mindset, so that you can effortlessly transform to your desired state, right? That's the spirit of minimalism. It's not that we want to save ingredients to save the planet, or, you know, it's minimalism is an actual commitment to the belief that less is more. Right? Same with minimalist architecture, minimalist interior design that came out of Scandinavia. It's not like, it's like reduce clutter, all the stuff that we pack into the house to make it cozy and all of these things. It's just too much on our nervous system, that if we strip away and put the most functional, the most basic, and just pay attention to the shapes and the lines without all the ornaments and the gold, there is beauty in simplicity. There is beauty in simplicity, and that is the spirit of Italian cuisine. It's the spirit of minimalist interior design, all in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, and also the spirit of, you know, minimalist training, which is what I try to preach on my channel, and also I have a full, coaching program and a course that teaches how to do that. So, give it a try, guys. If you're feeling like this old school fitness advice hasn't really been cutting it for you, and you're not getting the results that you actually want, that you want to enjoy life outside of fitness and still maintain slash build an amazing body, then minimalist training might just be the one for you. Let's get to the next stage, which is we're gonna just literally put garlic and pepperoncino and infuse the olive oil with it. This is how most Italian pasta starts, but make sure the garlic doesn't burn to give off that bitter taste. We don't want that. Then we put this in, season it a bit, let the tomatoes break down and release their natural sweetness. We obviously cook the pasta at the same time on the side, and once the pasta is sort of semi-cooked, we transfer it into the sauce and finish cooking the pasta in the sauce. This is the ultimate secret sauce to make an amazing pasta. Finish the cooking process inside the sauce. So you gotta take it out before it's cooked. Then you can go in with basil or parmigiano or whatever you want.